What up? This is Rama Screen covering movies, TV, and entertainment, and here's my review of Peacock's new limited series, Joe vs. Carole. Hey, before you watch my review, please subscribe to my channel, press that like button, and ring that bell so you can get notified whenever I post new videos. And if you'd like to help support this channel, please do so at patreon.com/ramascreen. That's patreon.com/ramascreen. Let's rock this. Is it just me, or does this show arrive 2 years too late? What I'm getting at is I think I don't care about Joe Exotic anymore. At least not as much as I used to, back when the Netflix docuseries became a huge sensation in the early days of the pandemic. Hell, I couldn't even care less about Tiger King 2 and the Doc Antle story from last year either. Maybe that's not how you feel, but as far as this saga is concerned, I'm all tapped out, which is why, after having watched all 8 episodes of this mini-series, I've come to the conclusion that while John Cameron Mitchell's performance is noteworthy, the whole show overall is basic and mediocre and frankly kinda boring. It feels like a reenactment, and the comedy also more than often misses the mark, which is so cringy. Oh, the CG tigers also look dodgy and bizarre, and I love Kate McKinnon, but she could not quite nail this one. She's basically just doing an impression of Carole Baskin as opposed to embodying her. So all I see is Kate instead of her character, which is not good. Created by Ethan Frankel, Joe vs. Carole is a scripted adaptation of the 2019 Wondery podcast, Joe Exotic Tiger King, hosted and reported by Robert Moore. It centers on Carole Baskin, a big cat enthusiast who learns that fellow exotic animal lover Joe Schreibvogel is breeding and using his big cats for profit. She sets out to shut down his venture, inciting a quickly escalating rivalry, but Carole has a checkered past of her own, and when the claws come out, Joe will stop at nothing to expose what he sees as her hypocrisy. The results prove dangerous. The fact that this show is based on the podcast rather than the Netflix docu does help in giving us an extra layer about these two characters that we previously had not known about. Those shades definitely help in making them come across as complicated, thus making it harder for us to pick sides. But are those enough for me to call Joe vs. Carole compelling? No, of course not. And there are times as I was watching these episodes when it felt like I had to drag my feet through it. Okay, I'm not sure why John Cameron Mitchell didn't want to add a few pounds or wear a belly bodysuit, because his skinny, scrawny appearance does throw me off a bit. But I'd be lying to you if I said that John didn't have his fireworks moments, because he kinda does. And anytime that happens is like a breath of fresh air on this otherwise dull and tedious show. Some of the supporting cast also pick up the slack here and there, including Nat Wolff, who plays Travis. There's a couple of episodes that are more or less focusing on Travis, and Nat seems to fully understand the intense emotions about this tragic character. Oh my god, the jokes on this show are horrible. Many of them involve Kate McKinnon, and many of them fall flat. Sometimes I'm just so completely confused. Are they trying to do a parody? Are they trying too hard to humanize these folks? I admit the whole escalating legal battles and the shouting matches between them managed to wake me up every now and then. But again and again and again and again, my mind keeps coming back to that same question again. Why should I care? Why should I give a rat's ass about this whole damn show? I think Joe vs. Carole is the perfect example of not everything under the sun needs to have a narrative adaptation. Sometimes the Netflix docu and the podcast are sufficient. That's it. You don't need to repackage it or retell it in this format on top of that. Listen, if you still insist on watching these 8 episodes, well, be my guest. But you're doing it at the risk of wasting your own precious time.